And I now call on Daniel Johnson to speak to and to move Amendment 11958.2. A generous 6 minutes, Mr Johnson.
Thank you very much, Deputy Presiding Officer. And in some ways, can I pick up where Brian Whittle left off? Because I think this is about challenge. It's about what we need to achieve and the gap between what that means and where we are now. And so there's many things that we can agree with in the government motion. There are many things that we should be celebrating. Technology is undoubtedly one of our strengths. We have fantastic innovation in terms of tech startups, both here and in Glasgow. We have a phenomenal strength in terms of games industry in Dundee. We also have in Aberdeen a really fascinating work in terms of robotics and also use of technology in supply chain. But are we a leader in technology? Are we there yet? I don't think if this debate was being debated in Seoul or in California or in Estonia, you'd hear a debate or have a motion quite like the one that you had from the government, because I think they would be rigorously focused on what they needed to keep pace, about issues such as AI, about whether or not China was going to replace them, where the next challenges were going to come, global supply chain shortages in terms of silicon chips potentially coming from future global conflicts. These are the sorts of things that we need to be alive to, but also recognise we have still got so much further to go if we are truly to be a tech nation. So I think what I would like to do is set out some of the challenges I think we have to address. And let me just say, I'm glad the Minister mentioned AI in his introductory opening remarks, but frankly, a motion discussing technology that doesn't even name-check AI in this day and age is just deficient. So I'll be supporting the government motion, but I think I would urge the government to back the amendments, both from Labour and from the Conservatives, because it's important that we're clear-eyed about what those challenges are, and I move the amendment in my name. And let me start with the Logan Review. The Logan Review was excellent. But it was very clear about those challenges. And yes, the government has moved forward on some of the recommendations, but not all of them. And it was very clear about the importance of education. And yet, since that point, and if you talk to any tech entrepreneur, frankly, they will highlight the importance of computer science teachers in our schools. And quite simply, they have declined since that report was published, not increased. And what is more, we are only seeing handfuls of computer science teachers going through teacher training college. This is an issue of national importance. It's certainly one of critical importance to the tech sector. But it goes beyond just computer science teachers. I think it's also about how we're teaching technology. I hear concerns again from the tech sector, but also from parents, frankly, in my casework, that simply the availability of iPads in the classroom is seen as a proxy for technology. Frankly, our children don't need to be taught how to consume technology. They need to be taught how to use it, how to manipulate it, how to actually use technology. Yeah.
Brian Whittle.
I'm very grateful for Daniel Johnson for giving way, and I can't agree more on what he said. I wonder if he agrees with me. It's not about teaching our kids technology, because the jobs of the future are yet to be invented. It's creating an environment where they can see the impossible.
Daniel Johnson.
I completely agree with that, but it's also about applying technology in their work when they seek to do new things. And frankly, I don't think we have enough of that, and certainly not rigorously or comprehensively. And finally, one critical point from the Logan Review is we still have a job of work to be done in terms of capitalisation and investment in tech. Yes, there are steps in the right direction, but we still have a big funding gap. Access to those critical venture capital funds in other parts of the world, because that's where the money is, still have to be bridged and to be made. But it's not just about the tech sector itself, and I touched on this in the intervention. It's about the application of technology, but it's also the penetration of technology right the way through our economy. Quite frankly, and I'm coming from a small business environment, I'm critically aware how poorly most SMEs currently use technology. According to Sage, we could just about double the output from SMEs from around 200 billion to over 400, simply if we were to get them using technology as well as those in the upper quartile do. That is a huge boost. Likewise, the Open University recently reported that 79% of SMEs are held back from applying technology because they simply don't have the financial time or knowledge to implement them properly. So we have to focus on penetration of technology right the way through the economy, not just in the tech sector itself. Another point that I think is critical is we need to recognise the economy comprises not just the private sector, the public and the private sector. But we are a million miles away from where we need to be in terms of applying the technological innovation and technological processes in our public sector. Now, I am very thankful to Richard Lochhead for bringing forward this debate. But frankly, it is somewhat dismaying not to see the Cabinet Secretary present this, let alone not see the other Cabinet Secretaries who should be interested. Because we need technology innovation in health. We need it in agriculture. We need it in education. We need it in social security. I would have thought at least one of those individuals could have actually played a role, a really useful role in this debate. Well,
Gentlemen, please, not from sedentary positions across the chamber. Please continue, Mr Johnson.
I am trying to make constructive challenge here. I mean, maybe this is a wider point, but look, I am the front bench spokesperson for the economy. I am taking that forward. It's certainly a core part of my work, and I have my colleague who's the front bench spokesperson for education. So that's the way that we shadow cabinet.
Minister, please refrain. Mr Johnson, please. Yeah, can I just say to members, when the person who has the floor is the person who gets the shot to speak. Mr Johnson, please continue.
Very much. Look, this is a challenge to us all. I don't think this is a partisan point. But critically, if we are to deliver on the challenges that are faced by demography, climate change and all the other challenges that were highlighted, we need to apply technological innovation right the way through our public sector. The final point I would like to say is this, is I just don't think it is acceptable to talk about technology, what needs to be done, without talking about digital exclusion. Digital and technology is how the economy works, how society works. That is only going to get more so. We can use technology to improve these things, such as Blackwood Housing Association, my constituency, who use technology to stay in touch with people in their sheltered accommodation. But I think it is remiss to bring forward a broad motion on technology without addressing this vital social aspect of technology. So with that, look, there's much to celebrate, there's much to focus on, but we need to be serious about the challenges, but we need to acknowledge the challenges first. Otherwise, we simply won't meet those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Johnson.